Hello, my name is James Hancock. I'm an Maryland County 4-H'er, and today I'll be presenting a presentation about parasite control in meat goats. In this presentation, I will be talking to you about the parasite that infects and ultimately kills thousands of meat goats each and every year and how to control it. Meat goat producers have to fight these worms to keep their herds healthy and profitable. Goats are extremely prone to parasites, and preventing these worms from infesting your herd will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, challenges you will face in trying to raise meat goats. Worm infestation not only kills goats, but also increases feed costs, decreases normal weight gain and production, and contributes to life-threatening illnesses such as coccidiosis and bottle jaw. Meet the enemy. Internal parasites cause more goat deaths in southeastern United States than the total of the next 3 leading causes of goat deaths. Although you will not be able to completely eliminate these worms from your herd, you have to learn how to live with them and use management to control them to levels which do not harm animal production. The barber pole worm. This is the most common worm, especially in the southeastern United States, that causes the majority of goat deaths as well as depressed animal performance. Here is a picture of a fresh barber pole worm. As you can see, it has red and white stripes like a barber pole, which is where it gets its name. The red stripe is the gut, which is filled with blood, which it has just sucked from the meat goat it infected. The white stripe is the uterus, which contains thousands of eggs. This pretty well describes the barber pole worm. It is a blood-sucking, egg-laying machine. It sucks about half to 1 drop of blood per day and produces 1,000 to 6,000 eggs per day. The barber pole worm can multiply rapidly under good conditions because of the large number of eggs they lay. Since the worm sucks half to 1 drop of blood per day, 1,000 worms can suck 2 ounces of blood per day, 2 quarts in a month, which is why your goat will die from a heavy infection. The barber pole worm is a tropical worm. It likes a warm climate. Therefore, it predominates in the south, although it can cause major problems in the northern areas. These worms require rain to infect small ruminants and therefore are much less of a problem in the west or anywhere where there is less than 25 inches of rain per year. The barber pole worm is relatively large and can easily be seen with the naked eye. It's about the diameter of a paperclip wire and about 1 inch long. The average lifespan of this worm is 6 months, but they can live as long as a year. The animal's immune system is constantly fighting back against these worms and may suppress egg production or cause the worms to die prematurely. Managing the barber pole worm. The concept of pasture rotation, or rotational grazing, is to break the worm cycle that has been tossed around for years. The main reason to use pasture rotation is for control of the barber pole worm and to provide the most nutritious forage for growth and development. Harvest hay. When possible, you should use your pasture for hay cutting after grazing. This will help to break the worm life cycle and to prevent reinfestation. Direct sunlight during the summer months and freezes during the winter will also help decrease the worm population. Provide browsing. It's very important that meat goats have plenty of browsing. Although goats can live off of grazing, they naturally prefer browsing. Not only do they prefer browsing, but it also helps prevent the barber pole infection. Because when goats are browsing, they are not forced to eat close to the ground where the worm infection is started. Parasite management of the Famacha. A brief history of the Famacha. The Famacha eye color chart was named after its developer, South African livestock parasitologist Francois Famacha. The Famacha card features 5 high-resolution pictures of an infected goat or sheep. The picture focuses on the redness inside the eyelid of the animal. The card numerically designates each stage, with 5 representing severe anemia and 1 representing a healthy goat that does not need to be wormed. Convenient. In the past, experts have advised goat farmers to go ahead and worm their whole herd when worming their goats. Since the Famacha system allows them to spot treat and only have to worm the parasite-infested goats, this not only saves time, but money as well. Financially beneficial. The Famacha system has been a godsend for many. The low-cost way for extension and small ruminant producers to assess the parasite condition of their animals will increase both the animal performance and the financial return. A relatively small financial and time investment by university and cooperative extension to train producers to use this method will reap huge benefits for our industry. In the past, experts will advise goat farmers to go ahead and worm their whole herd. Since the Famacha system allows one to spot treat, less wormer will be used, thus money will be saved. Here is the Famacha card. As you can see, there are 5 different pictures that tell us the animal's parasite condition. Here's how to use the Famacha card. You pull the goat's eyelid back, put the card next to the eyelid, and see which shade the goat's color is closest to. Remember, the lower the score, the better, as 5 means anemic, and 1 means a healthy goat does not need to be wormed. The peace of mind that knowing that all animals that needed treatment received it is worth a lot. Helps determine who to cull. The Famacha system has also been a good test on what goats should be culled. Research has shown that 20 to 30% of your animals put 70 to 80% of your infective larvae on your pasture. This means that if you cull your bottom 20 to 30%, you will be taking care of 70 to 80% of your problem. This doesn't mean you should just cull a goat if it has one bad Famacha score, but it does mean if a goat has had a bad Famacha score for a long period of time, it should probably be culled. Causes of dewormer resistance. There are 3 main reasons why goats become resistant to dewormers. Number 1, frequent deworming, and number 2, underdosing the dewormer. By underdosing the dewormer, you're increasing the worm population with genes for dewormer resistance. And refugia reduction. Refugia is defined as the worm population that has not been exposed to the dewormer. The importance of refugia cannot be spoken of enough. The potential for dewormer resistance exists in at least a few worms before a dewormer is ever used. By reducing the refugia, you will gradually kill all the non-resistant worms, leaving a population of only resistant worms. Ways that we commonly reduce refugia are treating all animals at the same time, treating animals on few infective larvae on their pasture, or treating animals on the few infective eggs/larvae on the pasture, such as during a severe drought. Alternative dewormers. Sericea lespedeza. This is a grass that contains tannins that help fight off the parasites. Copper oxide. This is another method that many goat farmers use to help fight off the parasites. Tobacco nicotine sulfate, diatomaceous earth, and herbal dewormers. Although some of these alternative dewormers have not been scientifically proven to be effective, many goat farmers believe in these products. Fecal egg count. A fecal egg count is a procedure you can perform at home to get an approximation of the parasite load your goats are carrying. The first step, the conducting a fecal egg count, is quite complicated, but unfortunately because of time purposes I will not be able to go in great detail. But the first step is to collect fecal pellets of the goat you're wishing to test, and it ends by putting the fecal pellets under a microscope and counting the parasite eggs. The procedure is extremely accurate, and you can get all the equipment you need for under $200. Fecal egg count reduction test. The fecal egg count reduction test is a way to see how effective your dewormer is. Your first step is to gather a sample of goats from your herd. 6 goats are enough, but 10 to 12 are better because animals react differently to deworming. You need to collect fecal samples off of each animal and count the parasite eggs under the microscope. Then use your dewormer as you normally would. 2 weeks later, collect fecal samples from the same animals and count the parasite eggs again. I hope by using these steps you can control the barber poleworm infection and keep your livestock farm animals healthy and your business profitable. Thank you for your time.